Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta, Sweet 16, Season 16, Episode 7. And to be honest with y'all, overall, it was a decent episode. It was a better episode than most episodes so far this season, but I don't know how much that really holds any weight. So we kick it off with Angela Oakley and Drew Sidora coming over, and Angela basically is telling Drew, like, why would you lie about being cousins with Michael Jordan? Now, for those of you who are not NBA fans, Michael Jordan and Charles Oakley used to play together on the Chicago Bulls, and allegedly, when Michael Jordan was out here in these streets, Charles Oakley was his cover man, was his wingman when Michael Jordan was allegedly having these celebrity hookups. At least that's what a former Bulls player had said. Was that Michael Jordan and Charles Oakley would be on these trips or whatever, and they would pretend some of your top black 90s actresses, singers, all the things, they would be on trips together, little mini getaways, while Michael Jordan is a whole married man, and they would pretend that allegedly Charles Oakley, that this was his date or whatever else, but really they were there for the getaway with Michael Jordan. But nonetheless, Angela Oakley would obviously call Drew Sidora out about this, because she would obviously know that Michael Jordan and Charles Oakley are BFFs, and if Drew was really cousins with Michael Jordan, they would have, she would have seen Drew a lot sooner. So make it make sense. Like, here's my thing with Drew. It's like, and she's like, I was just joking. No. A joke is something that's meant to be funny, like you're telling something to get the people going, to get the people laughing. You keep doing this stuff to make it seem like you have more clout and you have more emotion than what you really do. Didn't you allege that you went out on a date with LeBron James too, and he's a whole married man? What are we doing? I just don't understand. And so then she comes in, Drew Sidora does, with a $5,000 martini bag, y'all. And I'm just confused, because if we can't afford the $100 to call pest control over to the house, if we allegedly can't afford the Balmain event to where there was an issue, you didn't purchase anything for Kelly's event, and there was a percentage of that was supposed to go to Kelly's charity, and all you show is just text messages back and forth, which showed that you were in a text message with Dennis, you're just helping Ralph's case. You were just helping Ralph's case. You were just handing the divorce, the custody battle to him on a silver platter. Like, make it make sense. So then we go over to Kelly's house. Kelly invites Cynthia Bailey. Cynthia Bailey, she looked great tonight. They also had Portia over there, and also Shamia. Shamia, again. Like this is the perfect example, y'all, where you can have all the designer labels in the world that is costing $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, but it just don't be hitting. Some of the stuff just don't be hitting, y'all. And so nonetheless, I'm sure Shamia will get it together for season 17. But Portia wanted to ask about what happened with the peace brunch, and what drama unfolded, all this and that. Brit is at the car dealership trying to get another car, trying to test drive vehicles, is there with her husband. I have no idea why Brit's got her leg out in a convertible in front of the salespeople, like just doing too much. She's twisting around what happened at the Peace Brunch with Angela Oakley, and then she's like, I don't know why Angela's even coming for me like this when I heard a rumor that Charles Oakley had a baby on her. I don't know if it's me, but I feel like this is the tea that Portia was going to put out there at the bank, but decided, you know what, let me walk this back. Let me walk this back, and let me just not even entertain this. And I feel like this is Brit's bone that she's going to carry, which is going to escalate the Brit versus Angela this season. Just a hunch, right? So nonetheless, Portia lets the ladies know, hey, y'all, you know, we're gearing up for this trip to Nashville for my birthday and all of the things. Angela, is telling Drew Sidora that there was a Zoom call with Portia with all of the ladies on there except for Drew Sidora about this trip to Nashville. And Angela's like, well, listen, looky here. Even though you weren't on the call, I'm going to invite you anyway. No. Like, if Portia wanted to invite you, she would have. Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So now the beef is going to be resurrected and everything else because y'all doing too much, right? Now, in production talk, in reality TV talk, we've seen the show enough seasons to know that this is par for the course. There's a beef with somebody in the cast. They don't want to invite said cast member, but it's set up as filming as an all-cast trip, so everybody technically is going to go one way or the other, and then, oh, surprise, you show up for the trip. Like, it's so outdated, it's so overdone. Just everybody just show up. Everybody just show up, and it's gonna be whatever. We gotta stop with these games. So then we get a scene, y'all, with Drew Sidora and Brit, you guys, at a restaurant. And Drew Sidora is basically, now this is where Portia is alleging that Kenya, might have potentially got some of these images from a housewife, because why did Drew Sidora say in the scene with Brit that she recognized the photo that Kenya Moore posted at the hair spa? What? What do you mean you recognize the photo? What does that mean? Have you seen that before? Or have you recognized the gentleman? Have you recognized the slob on the nut? Like, I'm just confused. I am confused. What does this mean? It's giving a little, and this is why I said in my video in regards to Kenya's confessionals that there were some semantics, there were some smoke and mirrors going on, because I said that even if a housewife did slip some tea or slip some images allegedly to Kenya about Brit's past, that she's not going to out them anyway. She's not going to expose that. Why would she do that, right? But none of the less, this is why Drew, it was on my suspect list. Her and, some other people, her and Angela Oakley were like my top two suspects. Because Drew was like the last to leave. She was the last to arrive and the last to leave. And I don't know, and Angela Oakley has been playing all sides as it pertains to these housewives. She's team nobody but herself. So that's why I was like, And so then Drew is trying to do a rundown of Brit's tea, Brit's past, and it was giving, you guys, let me get all the tea right now on Brit so I can run this back to Kenya. And I'm surprised, production, again, if we have let go of Kenya, why is Kenya still being a fixture and a talking point of the season? And furthermore, if we're so outraged and mortified about what took place at the spa and at the salon, why now are we doing a deep dive in episode 7 on Brit's history with any type of corn or any type of, things that are salacious and all these things? Like make it make sense? And if you're so concerned, Brit, about an investigation and all this and that, why are you even discussing it? Why are you even giving it legs? What, can't you just say no comment? It's irrelevant now. Like, if you're allegedly under investigation, you're allegedly losing clients, and your business is in jeopardy, why are we discussing it? So, nonetheless, Brit confirms that she was allegedly a cam girl for a week in her 20s, and that her and another woman were basically on camera, basically naked for a week. Didn't go into more details than that. Brit said she thought it would be fun and she quit after a week. However, that's not the alleged image that Kenya Moore blew up at the hair salon, at the hair spa. What Kenya blew up at the hair spa was allegedly Brit slobbing on the knob, and Brit said in the previous episode that she was, in high school or a teenager when she did that with a particular boyfriend. So it still kind of puts the question of, okay, how old were you? Were you 17? Like, 'cause you didn't say how old you were when this happened. Then we get a scene, y'all, with the two youngest kids and Angela Oakley, and Angela talking about her nose. Why did the son shade Angela Oakley and said that she looked like Yoshi from Mario Brothers? No. And then Angela said that she's aware that her plastic surgery got too small, and therefore she tried to add fillers or something to blow up her nose. No. Black women, stop touching your face. I don't know what else there is to compute. Stop touching your face. Stop touching your nose. Stop getting fillers. Stop all of it. Stop all of the procedures. Please stop it. It's not doing you any favors. It's not. Then we get a court scene, y'all, featuring Drew Sidora and Ralph. And Ralph, he has on like these pretend reading glasses, and I believe it was him and his brother. They're up here. They've got like a whole scene, y'all, walking out of the basement with his attorney, y'all. And then we got Drew and her sister and somebody else. They're driving in the Escalade to the hearing, y'all. And Drew is hoping that, Ralph can get out of the basement and find his own place, right? And Ralph is basically hoping for mass chaos, right? Child, why did they show like the pre-briefings of them meeting with their attorneys at the courthouse? And, basically they did a flashback of when Drew Sidora's attorney said, listen, looky here, this is going to potentially, unseal what is going on with the divorce. This is going to expose Ralph's cheating, allegedly sexting other women, him, not knowing or not properly submitting in time all of his financial information and where all of his financials stand and all this and that. And I just gotta say this, Drew, you have terrible taste in men. Weren't you linked previously to a DRUG dealer before? And now you're married to a man that you don't have all the information on his financials, but you're alleging as well that he stole money from you, and you don't know where all of his money is coming from? No. What? So Ralph, they then go to the scene, y'all, with Ralph and his attorneys, and I guess he's on his third attorney for this divorce case, and her name is Precious, y'all. Why did they zoom in on her? And it was a lit fest on her suit jacket. Like, why is Bravo so messy? And why is it just the Black Housewives that they like to just zoom in on the most random stuff or on these black women? Like, it really like starts to agitate me, because I'm just like, this was not necessary. But then we hear Ralph in the background talking about some, Drew's trying to look for a money grab and all this and that. Why was the hearing only 20 minutes long, y'all? The hearing was only 20 minutes long, and here comes Ralph coming out here dancing, doing the electric slide, doing the where them fans at, because he's happy that he gets to stay in the basement, y'all. No. And apparently, he is the one that wants the records unsealed. So it's interesting. So again, with Drew, because it's like, this is the piece where it's like, okay, is this real? Is this a storyline? Where are the court documents? FBI, agents, CIA agents, detectives, where's the court documents about this divorce? And all of the things. Is this even like a legitimate thing? Because Drew made it seem like this was going to be so problematic for the kids if this got unsealed. But Ralph, once this unsealed, I guess he's pulling a Martell and thinking that there might be some tea on there on Drew's Adora. Maybe, allegedly, there's something going on that Drew doesn't want the people to know on her side of things. I don't know, like, it's giving weird. So then Drew sees Ralph outside the courthouse celebrating, and she rolls down the window of the Escalade and is like, you know, you're on some F-boy nonsense. You're really FOS of all this nonsense. Like I am not featuring you right now. And rolls up the window and then tries to start crying and all of this and all of that. And it's just like, I just don't understand at this point, Drew, that if you're gonna flex on him with a $5,000 handbag and you don't want to leave this house for some reason, like, I just don't understand. If it's, you know, like Fantasia say, like, you know, if you don't want me, don't talk to me, but free yourself from the situation, Drew. Free yourself. You're waiting on Ralph to move out. Ralph has no intentions of moving out. He's built a whole podcast down in the basement now. Like, what are we doing? So, nonetheless, we get the girls. They're all flying into Nashville, except for Angela Oakley. Angela Oakley allegedly is having issues and showed up to the airport late and missed her flight. Looked like everybody was flying private and all this and all of that. And, you know, everybody looked like to be in good vibes and all the things. They get to Nashville, and then they take like a 3-hour bus ride, y'all, to some Airbnb, right? And the Airbnb is nice. It wasn't like a mansion, but it was a nice home. Very beautiful decor. They had Cowboys there serving, alcohol and all the things. And here comes Kelly in the confessional. Like, I'm here for these Cowboys. Portia give me the darkest one and all the things. So nonetheless, we get a tour of the house. Portia gets her own bedroom. Shamia, now this is interesting. Shamia's like, well, since I'm Portia's best friend, I should get the second best room. But what's interesting is, in all these other scenes behind Portia's back, she's like, I'm heard about this, I'm heard about that. She allows Angela and others, like Kelly, to convince her, you should be really upset about this. You should be really mad at Portia for her doing X, Y, and Z. But we're all good now that I deserve the second best room, right? So there's another room that's like some bunk beds, and then there's like Portia's being messy, opens up the door to the basement and is like, hey Drew, like throwing shade to Drew and Ralph's situation. And there is, a room that has like 4 queen size beds or whatever. It was giving Love and Marriage Huntsville when they wanted to have a problem with Melody Cherie on how she did the rooms and how some people had to share a room and all of this and all of that. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of over this thing with the housewives on the room thing. It was cute, like, in the beginning, like, the first couple of seasons of the show. But I feel like now we're 16 seasons in, like, who cares? Like, all of y'all supposed to be balling out of control. Listen, I remember in Beverly Hills, I forgot where they went. I forgot where they went. It is escaping me. I can't remember if it was Tokyo, if it was Japan, if it was China, if it was Singapore. Y'all will let me know in the comments. Y'all always do. But what I liked what they did. They had a penthouse suite that was / the party room. This was the season that Denise Richards was on, and Denise came in some jeans and a t-shirt. She did not care about dressing up for all of these shenanigans, because she's like, I'm on vacation. I'm going to dress like how people on vacation move. So what I liked though was they had a penthouse suite, right? And I think whoever hosted had like the bedroom or whatever associated with the penthouse, right? And then the rest of the housewives all had their own hotel rooms. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I'm a little, some of us can be a little bougie. I'll just say that. Some of us can be a little bougie. Why couldn't we go to a hotel, y'all? I don't care if it was Hilton or the Marriott or the Hyatt or the Intercontinental or whatever specialty boutique hotel it was in Nashville, whatever their number one hotel is in Nashville. Why couldn't we just get a penthouse in Nashville? And why couldn't all the housewives, all the peach holders just get their own separate room? And Portia being the host, she could have the suite attached to the penthouse as well. And that could just be the gathering piece for the chef and everything else. Like, here's my thing, y'all. You get to a point where you just want your own space, you just want your own privacy. This whole thing, these forced interactions with people, like we can reconvene at the penthouse suite, y'all, and have a good time. We can reconvene when it's time to go out to dinner and have a good time, but I need my own hotel room, y'all. I need my own personal space. Here's the thing, y'all. Like, let's keep it a buck. Everybody's got their own type of issues. Everybody's got their own type of needs, their own type of accommodations. And when y'all are all scrunched up into each other in one home, it just makes things difficult. But maybe that's what they want, is this organized chaos or unorganized mess. So nonetheless, Portia, after everybody, decides on the rooms and everything else, they all sit down and eat what the chef has prepared. And then they start talking about Angela Oakley, and Angela Oakley, literally comes in just as they're getting quiet as she enters in. And I was like, this is so messy. But Angela knew immediately that they were bashing her behind her back. And here comes Brit. And this is what I don't understand. She's so messy because you are participating in the gossip, but now you want a hug from Angela. No. It doesn't work like that. It does not. So, nonetheless, Angela's at the table, y'all. And Angela lets it known that she has invited Drew on the trip. And Portia's like, why did you invite Drew on the trip if I did not invite her? And Angela's like, well, it didn't really seem like, you didn't want to invite her, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, here we go. And so Portia basically is like, listen, looky here. I'm not trying to start no drama. I'm not trying to start no mess, but it's mad shady, right? So then Portia shows Angela where her room is going to be. And then there was a scene where the peach holders that were still involved with their men were calling. So Brit was trying to call her husband and tell him the tea that Drew was coming on the trip. And her husband looked completely disinterested. Angela Oakley is trying to talk to Charles on the phone. Charles is talking about I really can't hear you. My phone is messing up. My Wi-Fi is jacked up. Tell it to somebody who cares. Like, that was the energy that it was giving. That was the energy. He couldn't have been more disinterested. Shamia is talking to her husband, and he's up here talking about he's at Target. Now, keep in mind, this was filmed before Trump got reelected, before Target announced that they were rolling back on DEI. So no dragging as of now, because this would have been around the time of Portia's birthday, since it's around June 22nd. So this would have been prior to the election and all of the things. So, and then there was a weird scene when they were looking at the rooms where Shamia low-key was kind of humping the bed, and it's kind of things like that where it's like, Shamia, we don't need to put 20 on 10 for some of these scenes. It's unnecessary. So Portia tells everybody, listen, looky here, we're going to reconvene at this time, and we're going to go out and hang out for my birthday or whatever. So get your makeup done. And Kelly reveals that she's got her stylist coming, y'all. She's got her stylist coming to a glam trip for Nashville. No. Now listen, had you been in the premiere part of Nashville at the penthouse suite and all the things, I'll allow it. But at this Airbnb, that's not even a McMansion. No. Well, you don't need a stylist for this. It's basic cowboy attire. Like what? We don't need to reinvent the wheel. You're in the country music town, country music capital, and all the things. What is there to make concepts of for outfits? It's pretty straightforward. Cowboy attire. I was confused. But what was interesting, Paris, her stylist, basically Kelly said, listen, since Brit is going through so much with what happened with Kenya and, basically the drama that took place at the Peace Brunch, I am lending my stylist and makeup artist and all of the things to Brit as well, so Brit can, feel good about herself, get her confidence up, and I suspect that Paris potentially might be behind the fallout between Kelly and Brit. It's just a suspicion, because here's the thing, y'all. Let's keep it a buck. Some of these stylists and makeup artists, y'all, are some of the messiest people on the planet. They are the biggest gossiping people on the planet. So if you are lending somebody, again, your stylist, your makeup artist, just like Drew is using Portia's makeup artist, Drew is using Portia's, creative director that she wanted them to utilize to help promote her music and stuff. Drew is using Portia's ex to do her album and all of the things. Drew tried to, do a go naked photo shoot behind Portia's back and all of these things. Like, these things get messy. So why are you lending, and I feel like this was an ongoing relationship that Brit might have happened with Paris that I feel like might be the cause of this breakdown. That is what I suspect, y'all. So, nonetheless, you guys, Angela gives Drew a call, wants to know what's tea, where's Drew at, and all these and all that, right? Child, why did Drew say she's not sure whether or not she's coming? She needed her peace protected and all this and that. She had a stressful day in court. Only for her to later be at Crew Lounge, which is Portia's ex's Dennis's lounge, y'all. And it was weird because Drew and her sister, they were partying it up in VIP by themselves with promoting Dennis's alcohol brand, and then also FaceTiming with Dennis like, oh my gosh, you're my brother, because Drew celebrated that she got a record deal with Dennis. I'm guessing this is Dennis's label. I don't know. But whoever label it is, we know that Dennis is the executive producer on this album. And of all the lounges, of all the nightclubs in Atlanta, you decide to go to Crew Lounge. Like all of this is going to get back to Portia one way or the other. This is going to be messy at the reunion of all of these encounters involving Dennis. But then you want to say, oh, there's nothing going on, but you keep wanting to poke the bear. I don't care if y'all like Portia or not. This whole thing is messy. Drew Sidora is doing too much. This is inappropriate. This is out of bounds. This is out of order. She needs to sit down. She needs to stop it. This is not okay. Listen, I don't care if you have fallen out with a good friend. The last thing you need to be doing is canoodling up with their ex, doing all these schemes. And I think Portia's biggest issue is, since Drew and Portia are not cool, you and Dennis doing all this stuff, filming together, everything else, now Dennis can have his own narrative, about Portia and doing all this other stuff, right? And Portia clearly does not want to talk about this divorce with Simon, even though she kind of alluded to it, making it seem like she did film a lot about Simon, but it sounded like it was left on the cutting room floor, is what it sounds like to me. Because really all we have is just the scene of her seeing the attorney, and then every now and then somebody in the group will ask her about Simon. But for all intents and purposes, Simon was dragging Portia all around the internet around this time. So I think that, and then seeing Drew in this Dennis stuff, I think it just has Portia just really on edge. But what I don't understand, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face, Portia, you had a layup. All you had to do was pretend with Simon for the Sweet 16 season. Pretend to have the fast life, the glamorous life, all the things. If y'all were still married, this could have been a cast trip, out the country, and all of this and all of that, y'all. And and then at the reunion or whenever Trump got elected and Simon got deported, that could have been your storyline for the reunion, that you thought everything was great in this marriage. You didn't know about all these allegations, even though it was already out there, but you didn't know about all these issues with the citizenship and all this and that. You could have played this up at the reunion and parlayed that for your season 17 storyline. But instead, you freaked out just at the thought of, all this happening in the blogs, and you just got back on the show, and you didn't want that tea out there. You didn't want to discuss all this tea, so you thought that you had an upper hand by filing for a divorce, and it's just snowballed into something else, which resulted in you having no screen time. You having no screen time at all. So we get to Portia at this bar, restaurant, if you will, where there's like a mechanical bull. But before that, we see Moneta. We see all of these group of ladies, y'all. And it was giving, we are testing for Kenya's replacement. We need another peach holder. We need somebody else for the show. So Portia invited her sister and a whole bunch of other people to mic up and contribute to these scenes and everything else. That's what it was giving. It was giving potentially some of y'all might be able to test for the show. And none of them made the cut other than these scenes, because we obviously know that Phaedra comes back, right? So nonetheless, everybody, does the mechanical bull riding, and essentially Shamia says that she's a competitive person. She's a competitive person, and she won being on the mechanical bull for the longest time. Child, apparently, she didn't want to show her hoo-ha, so she had a cloth in between her legs, and somebody said, not the prayer cloth. Child, why are y'all so messy? So then we're at the dinner table, y'all. And somebody asks, is Drew here yet, right? Because Angela, of course, let the cat out of the bag earlier that she has invited Drew. So nonetheless, Angela and Portia get into it because she's like, listen, look at here, like, this was supposed to be a happy occasion, and Angela's the one who ruined it by inviting Drew. And so Angela's like, you're not about to guilt trip me. You didn't say no. And Portia was like, but I didn't say yes. She wasn't on the Zoom call. Like what else? What other proof did you need that this was not going to happen? So nonetheless, Angela is all like, well, I'm not going to be ganged up on and da-da-da-da-da-da, like this isn't it. And so then the conversation, switches gears, and I forget, I don't know if it was Lauren or if it was somebody else of one of the Portia's friends that got invited, but they made an allegation that Drew was slobbing on Dennis's knob. That they have more than just a professional relationship. So this is already about to go to another stratosphere. This is about to go to another level. Meanwhile, Drew is drinking up Dennis's alcohol by herself with her sister in the VIP lounge for crew, y'all. And it's just like, this is not going to end well in any capacity. And then Portia tells us in her confessional that essentially that Dennis likes to get oral transactions from multiple women, and that this is one of the issues when obviously he was cheating on Portia and cheating on her when she was pregnant and everything else, and he was like, well, it wasn't SEX, it was just oral transactions, and this person gave me an oral transaction, and this person gave me an oral transaction, and da 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 da. And so Portia's like, you know what, I am just not even going to entertain this foolishness. But I guess allegedly this is how Dennis likes to keep his body count balanced. And I was like, well, that's some shade right there, because that is a hot mess. That is a hot mess, a hot dog, hot mess, y'all. So the episode ends. The only thing I think forgot to mention was back at the beginning of the scene, Cynthia was talking about a list of qualities she would want in the next man that she's dating. And they did like a little shot of who her exes were, of Mike and Peter. They left out Leon because he was not an ex-husband. But then we don't know yet, due to the filming of the show, that Cynthia is with somebody. But I don't know if this somebody that she's with is good news or bad news. So more to come on that. But I just know that they got outed at the TMZ cameras, outed them when they were traveling. So nonetheless, the episode ends. We see a preview for next episode. where Drew arrives and Drew and Portia get into it. Drew's like, this is too much. I think I'm just going to leave. And it has Portia saying sayonara in the confessional. And then it looks like, I think it might be Brit and Portia in the same bed, potentially. And it looks like Brit is letting Portia know that Angela Oakley had recorded them. And Angela's trying to spill tea that Portia was drunk and inebriated. And all of the truth serum came out in this particular, whatever. So it's about to be very messy. Secret recordings, y'all. Secret recordings and exposing it for a storyline and all this and all that. It's about to be lit next week. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.